I know what you're thinking. With all that's been banned within the new SUP regulations, just tell me straight, what can I use? What's allowed? And those are some great questions. Today, aujourd'hui, we're going to be covering the next category out of the 6 that have been banned under the SUP mandate, which is the single-use food service ware, along with giving you a few options of food service packaging products that are now in the market that you can get your hands on. What's shaking all? My name is Elish P, and you're zoned into Food Packaging TV, where we bring you the latest in innovation, industry news, and of course, food packaging. I'll help you with the difficult ones. Now let's hit it! Just like last week, I wish to acknowledge that we're pulling the information from the Government of Canada website, and by no means am I, or Food Packaging TV, offering any legal advice, but instead our expert opinion based on the Government of Canada Single-Use Plastics Prohibition Technical Guidelines. Alright, so we're going to cut through all the legalese today and jump straight into the category and talk about the 3 main areas of concern, which are 1. Which materials are banned? 2. What format of packaging are banned? And 3. What does it mean to be ready-to-consume foods? Because it's a combination of all 3 of them. 1, 2, and 3. They all have to be met in order to be determined if the packaging in question is to be banned. So, let's start off with part 1. Let's get this quickly out of the way. These are the materials that are banned. Now, I'm going to give you definitions from the technical guidelines document, but later in the video, I'm also going to give you the rundown in the layman's terms, so it's very important for you to know this as well, because in the very near future, hint, hint, I'm going to come back to this. Expanded polystyrene foam, EPS. This is a rigid plastic, usually white, having a smooth surface and made out of polystyrene beads. Common uses include cold cups, plates, and bowls. Next, extruded polystyrene foam, XPS. So this is most commonly referred to as styrofoam, having somewhat of a rough texture made from polystyrene crystals. Common uses include foam plates, insulated cups, clamshells, food containers, trays, etc. Next is polyvinyl chloride, or PVC. This is a synthetic thermoplastic material made by polymerizing vinyl chloride, and common uses include clamshells for fruits, cake boxes, salad containers, etc. The next one is a plastic pigment produced through the partial or incomplete combustion of hydrocarbons, also known as carbon black, which is added to many plastic food service ware containers to give them a black color. Right. So common uses are those black plastic food containers, usually covered up with a transparent lid. Ta-da! And lastly, we have an oxo-degradable plastic. So that's a plastic that contains an additive that through oxidation leads to a chemical decomposition or to the fragmentation of plastics into microplastics. This is also known as oxo-degradable plastic, oxy-degradable plastics, and oxo-biodegradable plastics, amongst many other terms, like oxy and oxos, all these. Anyways, they have the same appearance as plastic, making it very difficult to differentiate, but yet has many uses such as containers, plates, and boxes. Part 2. What formats of food packaging are banned? And keep watching, as I'm going to give you a more comprehensive list of which specific items may apply to your business. So we got clamshell containers, lidded containers, boxes, cups, plates, and bowls. And part 3, and if you're using food packaging that is intended for ready-to-consume foods and beverages. To make this easier for you to understand this, foods and beverages are considered ready to be consumed if they do not need freezing, refrigerating, cooking, boiling, heating, microwaving, toasting, grilling or barbecuing, or frying before they're eaten or drunk. Now, this applies regardless whether a person chooses to eat, drink immediately once they get their food or beverage. And food and beverage that are considered ready to consume also includes raw or uncooked food that can be eaten straight away, such as pre-cut or prepared fruits and vegetables. Did you know? And for those clever minds looking for that loophole and think, hey, my food is not ready to consume because the customer still has to add the ketchup or the milk and sugar to the chai. This mandate also considered those additional steps too. Essentially, for most restaurants, QSRs, and caterers, bakers, this applies to you. So, here we go with the layman's terms of items that are banned. Foam hinge containers, out. Foam plates, aka the foam dish, out. Foam bowls, cups, containers, out, and out. Lids for foam cups and containers made from EPS, XPS, remember those terms? Out. Any type of plastic that has the color black, doesn't matter if it's a food container, catering tray, or cake base, they are out. Portion cups made from EPS, XPS, carbon black, oxo-degradable, all out. Well, now we know what is prohibited. Let's talk about food service that you can use. In a replacement of your foam hinge containers, you can use the following materials such as MFPP containers, which are the mineral-filled polypropylene containers. Now, although they're not banned, I have mixed feelings about these containers as, from my understanding, they also contaminate the recycling stream. They work well for hot and cold applications, just as PP containers, which are also another great application for hot and cold, and these are 100% recyclable. Bagasse and fiber-based containers. These are okay for hot and cold applications. Some may contain toxic chemicals such as PFAS, which you need to ask your supplier about. They're not the greatest for food transportation. Paper containers. Depending if you can get the lined or unlined versions, they could be really good or okay for hot and cold applications. So also check if they've got PFAS as a water grease barrier. PLA containers. They're only good for cold applications, and they need to be composted in a commercial composting facility. PET containers. They're best suited for cold applications and are one of the most recyclable plastics out there. Replacing your foam or polystyrene cups, we've got paper cups lined with PE or PLA. These are your standard hot cups that you probably use now. If you have those that are lined with PLA, they can be composted in a commercial composting facility. Fiber cups lined with PE or PLA. If fiber cups are not lined, there's a very high probability that they do contain PFAS, and you have to stay away from those. Lids made from PP, fiber, or CPLA. PP is great for hot foods. Fiber may contain PFAS, and CPLA needs to be commercially composted. PLA cups and lids. They're great for cold applications and do require to be composted in a commercial composting facility. You can also use lidded containers. Now, these come in 3 common shapes and sizes, which are the tray format, like the PP containers that are usually black, but now you can get them in white or clear. Again, PP is great for hot applications and cold applications because they can do it all, from freezer to microwave, but no oven. Aluminum containers with PET or paperboard lids. Aluminum is a great alternative as they have great conductivity for heat and cold, and they're also 100% recyclable. In the large formats, we've got soup containers. So these were your former foam soup containers, so you can now use PP containers and lids that are either white or clear. Bagasse soup containers with lids made from fiber or PP. Paper containers lined with PE or PLA with lids made from either paper, PP, fiber, or CPLA. PLA containers and PLA lids. Again, PLA is great for cold applications only, so dry foods and ambient temperature foods are best. Small round containers, formats for sauces and condiments. Formerly you were using polystyrene portion cups. So if you were to turn over your portion cups and in the bottom it said PS, that means please stop. Actually, it means polystyrene, but from now on you can swap them into PP. I'm not going to say what PP stands for. And their lids, PET containers and their lids. Fiber containers, they'll have either a PLA or a fiber lid. And PLA containers with PLA lids. Replacing your pomme dish type of plates and bowls, you can use different types of plates and bowls made out of fiber that have either a PLA or a PE lamination. Ask your supplier if the products do have PFAS. Sometimes if they do, you might want to stay away. You can use PP plastic plates or bowls, or you can even use paper that have a lamination or not. Boxes. Now, these are a good option to swap out your foam hinge containers with. You can use paper boxes that are unlined or lined with PE, PLA, Flex Shield, or even a water-based coating. They come in a variety of sizes and options to achieve the same functionality as your foam counterpart, as in even doing compartments. And finally, we talk about caterware. Now you can use catering bowls and platters made with a fiber base and a PET base combination, and lids that are made out of either PLA or even PET. If you'd like a cheat sheet for what I've outlined, comment cheat sheet in the comments below along with your email address, and I'll send you a copy. And here's your question of the week. Would you use MFPP containers even though they potentially may contaminate the recycling stream but are permissible under the new ban, and they're probably cheaper than foam? Let me know your thoughts and comment in the section below. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Food Packaging TV. My name is Elish P. Thank you for joining me. Next week, we're going to go over the single-use plastic checkout bags, and we're going to talk about its technical guidelines and what are the new options that are available for you. Please feel free to subscribe, like, share, and comment. And until then, be good, be safe, be blessed. Peace out.